Jerusalem bled gold. The queen's caravan, looted, scattered. But this wasn't defeat. This was the desperate gamble of a visionary. Sheba, the shrewd merchant queen, had emptied her coffers for Solomon's wisdom. What followed wasn't bankruptcy, but a birthright. A seed planted in ancient Ethiopia, watered by faith and trade, that blossomed into Africa's oldest dynasty. The air here whispers secrets. Secrets etched not just into the stone, but into the very DNA of a nation. We stand on the roof of Africa, in Ethiopia, a land famed for its ancient Christian heritage. A heritage inextricably linked to a legend, a queen, a king, and a treasure beyond measure. For centuries, the story of the Queen of Sheba's visit to King Solomon in Jerusalem has been relegated to myth. A beautiful tale, yes, but relegated to Sunday school lessons and children's books. We've been told it's just a nice story. But what if I told you it was so much more? What if I told you it was the foundation upon which an empire was built? The Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's sacred text, tells a different story. A story of not just a visit, but of a strategic alliance, a powerful exchange of goods, knowledge, and ultimately, of blood. It speaks of Makeda, the queen, embarking on a journey to Jerusalem around 950 BC, drawn by Solomon's wisdom and his legendary wealth. She didn't come empty-handed. Sheba controlled the lucrative trade routes of frankincense, myrrh, gold, and spices, the resources Solomon desperately needed to fuel his ambitious building projects. Their meeting was not merely a diplomatic exchange. According to the Kebra Nagast, a son was born. Menelik I. This son, raised in Ethiopia, later traveled to Jerusalem and returned, not just with an education, but with something far more significant. He returned with the Ark of the Covenant. Here's chapter 2, why it matters now. The echoes of Sheba's journey, the whispers of that ancient trade route, they reverberate through the centuries. They rumble beneath the soil of empires, waiting to be unearthed, understood. Because the story doesn't end with a queen's return. It blooms, it blossoms, it bears fruit in ways we are only beginning to grasp. Fast forward to 1324. West Africa. The world is captivated by the extraordinary wealth of Mansa Musa, the ruler of the Mali Empire. His pilgrimage to Mecca, legendary. The sheer volume of gold he distributed during his travels through Egypt caused economic ripples that lasted for years. Historians estimate his personal wealth, his net worth, to be somewhere in the hundreds of billions of dollars, adjusted for modern currency. Unfathomable riches. Now listen closely to the descriptions of Mansa Musa's wealth. The chroniclers speak of overflowing treasuries, of cities adorned in gold, of generosity that knew no bounds. Does that sound familiar? Think back to the biblical accounts of Solomon's reign. The same opulence, the same descriptions, the same language. It's not just gold. It's an abundance so profound it reshapes the world around it. Consider the ramifications. Solomon's legendary wealth, attributed to his partnership with the Queen of Sheba, became a symbol of divine favor, of a kingdom blessed beyond measure. And centuries later, we see echoes of that same blessing in the heart of Africa. The wealth of Mansa Musa wasn't simply a fluke, a lucky strike of finding rich gold mines. It was the culmination of centuries of established trade routes, of sophisticated economic systems, of a deep-seated understanding of wealth creation and distribution. And here's where it gets interesting, the connection that sends chills down your spine. The oral traditions passed down through generations in some of these West African kingdoms, they claim direct descent from figures associated with, wait for it, Solomon himself. Could Mansa Musa's staggering wealth be more than just coincidence? Could it be a testament to a lineage, a birthright, a sustained legacy stemming from that very first journey of the Queen of Sheba to Jerusalem? So, the Queen of Sheba, her shrewd financial acumen, her diplomatic genius, wasn't just a biblical footnote. It was the spark that ignited a powerful kingdom, Aksum, a kingdom whose legacy echoes in the very DNA of modern Ethiopia, one of Africa's oldest nations. This story reminds us that Africa was never waiting to be discovered. We were trading, innovating, and building empires long before the history books often acknowledge. Understanding the roots of Aksum, its foundations in trade and diplomacy, fueled by Sheba's encounter with Solomon, empowers us to reclaim our narrative. It calls upon us to challenge the single story, to delve deeper into the rich tapestry of our past. Because within these ancient narratives lie the keys to unlocking our future. Want to carry a piece of this legacy? Check out our exclusive Sheba-inspired merch, starting from just $29, at pornoafric.com/merch.html. What do you think? Did they hide the truth? Thinking face.